Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. Yes, Anna Kelly is back with us, and we have a super secret, extra special discussion first, and I will let Anna introduce it. How you doing, Anna?
I'm doing great. So good to be here.
Yes,
Good to see you as always.
who's that good-looking guy behind your right shoulder?
This good looking guy is my firstborn, my adult son now, who is one day away from going off to college. And so this is his last day at home. We're, getting everything ready and going off on the adventure for the formal education while we're trying to pour into him the self-education that's really going to make him wealthy through real estate. So we're excited to have him on the show. I know you've been asking for a while, and he's really excited to be here as well. So I'll let the two of you take it away.
Thank you very much, Anna. Appreciate that. Hey, Dane, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So this all started with a crazy idea 6 or 9 months ago when I think I sent you one of these, right?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Sounds about right?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He has the book. That is awesome. So as I remember the story, your mom and I talk obviously weekly. She was saying, hey, I have a high school senior, about to go off to college, which now you're a day away from going. And she goes, I think I would like to have him read the book. So I guess the first question is, did you actually read the book?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
I started reading it a second time, but I'm only a chapter in.
okay. Well, that's good. So that's awesome to hear. Well, that's awesome. So, what did you think the first time, right? You were 17, I guess, when you read it the first time. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. It was great. So I liked how you laid out kind of your story and really connected it, because for me, I connect to people's life stories,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that you just connected that and then put in the information with it was just way easier to retain and enjoy to read. So
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, that's exactly like I really consider the book being two parts. Like the first 60% is Olivia, my wife's and I's journey through that 15 years of a crazy real estate market, right? It starts before the bubble goes up. We do some very smart things, then we take advantage of the crash. I'm curious because you're 17 now, 18, I believe. Do you remember your mom and dad kind of buying real estate? Were you old enough to kind of remember them, buying fourplexes and stuff?
I actually do. So
Okay.
I was probably 5 or 6 when they bought their first fourplex.
So you
And
remember that?
Yes, and we lived in the top one, and while they rented out the 3. But throughout my life, I kind of was old enough to remember their start all the way till now. So I was able to see pretty much everything. I remember late nights. I had school the next day up till 2 a.m. at a property.
Wow.
Even when I was like 6 years old in school. Awake.
Mom's putting you to work. Oh, that is awesome. Well, so I asked that because I was thinking, again, I'm just trying to put myself in your shoes, right? If reading my book, having that experience, right, starting with a fourplex house hack and then getting to where your parents are now, you probably see a lot of my story in what your mom and dad did, I would assume.
Yes, definitely. There's definitely something that goes in most people's stories. They don't really know how to start,
Right.
but then once they do, and something like a fourplex, something like that, where you can live in and rent the others, is one of the best ways to go. But once you start, after those first couple of years, which are probably the hardest,
Oh,
then
for
it
sure.
gets easier and easier.
Yeah, exactly. I'm curious. So you remember the fourplex, living in the top, renting out the bottom. Do you remember moving? I think it was from Texas to the fourplex. Like you left a house and you went to a fourplex, as I recall.
So, well, we left a house in Texas, and then we lived with my grandparents for a year.
Oh, okay. And then you went to.
Then we went there.
Got it. So again, folks, if you don't know, house hacking is a big deal. It's a great way for folks to start. I'm just going to ask, right? You're in college now. Do you see yourself being someone who will likely house hack sometime in the future?
Probably.
Yeah, it's getting on the property ladder, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, while I'm in college, I would love to look at Airbnbs while I'm down there,
Okay.
because there's a lot of different ways to create income passively.
Mhm.
But and there's different ways to do it. You got multifamily, you got like vacation rentals, you have self-storage, many of them. But I'm trying to look at everything because I don't know what fits me. You know?
Right.
And while I'm down there, I'm at Florida, I'm at the beaches, and I'd love to try to get an Airbnb down there.
Yeah, that would be sick. How far away is the beach from school? Is it like 45 minutes?
20
Or?
minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes. Yeah, you're going to be at the beach quite a bit, I think. Mom, I'm studying.
Don't ask me though.
Yeah.
What I learned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll look at it later. That's awesome. So again, going back to the book, right? Kind of going through the story. Was there a story or an example in the book that still resonates you, or you kind of like, oh, that hit you, or it really stuck out? I'm just curious.
One of your stories about just opening up to like an alligator property.
Oh yeah.
And realizing like it's not going to be easy. And there's a lot of warnings that you have to look at a property, because if it's not making you money, or in the long run, you have to wait 30 years for it to actually do anything.
Exactly.
And it might not be worth it. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to wait 30 years to get any money in return.
No, I don't want to wait 3 years, Dane, let alone 30.
Exactly.
I'm so glad you brought that one up, right? Because a lot of people in the real estate business, especially people who are supposedly coaching or whatnot, they preach high leverage because they think high leverage gets lots of units and bigger is better. And frankly, that's just not true. If you have a financial house of cards or a bunch of alligators, you are one hiccup away from financial ruin. So I'm glad that story resonated with you. It's frankly the only picture in the book, right? I got one picture in the book and it's an alligator eating a bag of money.
Yeah.
So
maybe that's why it resonated.
Yeah.
Alligators. Oh, wow.
Oh, where did that come from? Not a picture book. That is awesome. And then, the other things that are in the book that I think probably resonate, again, given your experience with your mom and dad and my story, is at some point you kind of go up, right? For us, it was 1031 exchanges, right? We went from 8 to 80 units, and you have seen your parents do similar things. Did that hit home?
Definitely. It definitely, just going back, like I said earlier, the first couple of years is just really hard.
Right.
But once you find what will start to take you that next step, then those next couple of years is where you grow the most. At least where I've seen people grow the most.
That is so well said.
Yeah.
So I just want to repeat that to make sure I get it, because I'm going to probably steal that and give you credit for it.
Good.
So again, you got to do the work up front, right? You got to make a decision, right? This is what I want. Then you do the work. That's the hardest time. Then at some point you've been in it. You then get to re-leverage what you've learned. I call it recycling capital. And then it just gets easier from there. Is that kind of a fair repeat of what you said?
Definitely.
Oh, you're a genius at 18, man. I didn't pick that up till I was almost 50. This is not going to be fair. You're going to do amazing things. So when you think about, let's talk about you going off to college, right? So I remember obviously doing it. I went to junior college first. I had to pay for my education. I actually have a daughter that's 12 years older than you. So I remember taking her to college. What is college to you? What do you see the next 4 years?
So first of all, big argument, just throw that out there.
Sure.
I don't think I need college.
I
really don't think you need it. But so I've been talking to a lot of people. I was at a business conference for 2 days, and they got both sides of it. And for college, for me, it's the experience.
Okay.
And it's the people that I meet. Yes, school. If you want to be a doctor or nurse, you have to go in there, you have to study, because they're not going to hire someone that doesn't know their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I want to do real estate. I'm going to get a finance degree.
Okay.
Just to help my understanding with math and stuff. But
Sure.
School grades are important, but it's not the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I want to be down there. I want to get connected with people. And while I'm down there, I want to be able to work from college and look at properties, maybe find someone that will let me sublease.
Yeah.
So I rent it out and then I re-rent it out for more. When I
arbitrage, right? Airbnb arbitrage. Yeah. See, I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I see the wheels spinning. So let's talk about this, right? So you're talking to a guy who went to junior college, then went and got his 4-year degree, and then went back and got a master's degree. It's funny, right? If you were to ask me what my most valuable college course was, it had nothing to do with any of my degrees. It was an elective. And I would tell every single college student to take a public speaking course. It's uncomfortable. Everybody hates it. But the ability to public speak comfortably, the ability to have a rough outline, the ability to be comfortable in your own skin and not go ums and ahs and all of that has made me millions of dollars. I would not have been the successful sales rep, the successful leader without a public speaking course. So without question. And it was in junior college. It was my second year of junior college, without question. And yeah, so that's there. There are some amazing things, but you're right. I'm not a big, go get a degree, go check the boxes, and suddenly life is there. It's not. College is about. It's about, for me. So this is really weird, right? This is just two guys talking. I graduated a Christian high school where 98% of the students went off to 4-year degrees or whatever, some crazy number. I didn't even take my SATs. Right. So that means I can't go to a 4-year university. At least, yeah. I'm like, not interested. Don't care. Both my parents have high school degrees. Nobody in my family has a college degree. Nobody. Like aunts, uncles, cousins. It was nothing we talked about. However, getting married at 19, I was married really young. I realized I equated college to more income, right or wrong, right? I was raised to be an employee, go to school, get a good job, make a lot of money, buy stuff. That was my upbringing. I still struggle with being an entrepreneur, right? The stuff that you're talking about at 18, folks, house hacking, arbitrage, you're just so far ahead of me. But I do think you could use these next 4 years to round out your skills, right? I saw you quiver when I talked about public speaking, right? I saw it. I don't know if you'll admit it, but I saw that.
I will definitely admit it. I have to take it, and I don't want to, but
no, dude, you need to take 2 levels of it. If you want to, it will make you millions of dollars, public speaking, right? And then there are other things of your generation. For example, maybe it's video editing or other things, because the ability to communicate, tell a story, grab people's attention, it's what you need. Whether you are doing real estate, whether you are doing Airbnb, whether you are doing syndications, here's the deal. Here's a secret about sales and how I've made millions of dollars in commission. People buy emotionally. They justify logically. What does that mean? That means you have to get somebody's heart before you get somebody's mind. Most people do it ass backwards. They're like, no, I need to do an ROI calculation or internal rate of return or all these fancy calculations. And until you've got their heart, until they believe in you, Dane, doesn't matter. That's why what your mom does with REI Mom, or what she is now doing with Greater Purpose Capital. She is, without knowing it, I don't know if she knows this, but without knowing it, she's grabbing people's hearts first and their minds second. At 18, I didn't get that. I don't think you get that yet. I think you think it's about, hey, if I do the fancy Excel spreadsheet and I spit out a 14% IRR, everybody's going to loan me money. No, you're an 18-year-old, maybe 19, maybe 20-year-olds. You've got to get people to believe in Dane's vision, where Dane's going, the fact that Dane delivers, he does the hard work. All of that is what you want by the time you graduate college.
Wow.
Is Dane delivers. Dane, again, get the heart first, you get the mind second. Most people get that backwards. Does that make sense?
Wow, definitely. I've really thought of it that way, but it's really true. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I've worked with $1 million producers, and all of them, without question, get the heart first and the mind second. And most people on social media do it wrong. They're all about numbers and this, that, the other thing. The numbers are important. Being able to run a spreadsheet, tell the story, do 5-year plans, important, but they're useless until you get their heart. So work on Dane the story, Dane the man. And college is a great place to figure that out. You're going to go there as a senior or as a freshman and be an entirely different person by the time your junior year comes. It's going to be amazing to watch, but you have to own that. That's you. Nobody's going to do that. Mom's not going to do that. Dad's not going to do that. Brothers, sisters, friends. Dane the man needs to figure out who Dane's going to be. And it's usually by your junior year.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask an 18-year-old who has read my book, which is just totally awesome. What kind of questions, if anything, did you have in this book?
So you like going through the hard times and the best times, you've seen a lot.
Yeah.
So what's one thing that I could do to kind of be careful and not go into some of those hard times,
Mm.
kind of skip some of those hard times and look for what's around me, what's happening in the market right now, and how to adapt to that?
Yeah. So there's a couple of things. You're never going to avoid the hard times. I would tell you the strongest skill you have, and I know your mom has it, maybe you've seen her do this, is you have to recognize, not avoid the bad days. As I think I said in the book, one of my big 21 takeaways is bad stuff happens. And it's the person that recognizes it, deals with it, and moves on that wins. The person who kind of ignores it, turns around, pretend it's not there, it'll linger. One of the things that you learn in life when you have a commission-based sales job is bad information doesn't get better with time. No, nothing bad gets better with time. Not a leaky faucet, not a alligator property, not a horrible toxic relationships. They don't get, once they're bad, once they've shown you who they are, flush them. Right. So it's not about avoiding the bad times. It's about recognizing, almost building a callus. Like if you work with your hands, you build those callus. You still got to lift the weight. You still got to go through them, but it's, once you got the callus, it's like, okay, I can do this, big deal. So, it gets easier with time, but I would tell you the strongest thing to do is just recognize that it will happen, deal, and move on. Don't grind. Don't beat yourself up. Like that negative cash flow property I talk about now, the alligator, I talk about it, I own it, but I've never done it again.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The most expensive mistakes, in my opinions, are the ones that you repeat. A mistake is not a problem. A mistake's a learning opportunity. It's the mistakes you repeat because you were arrogant. You thought the rules didn't apply. Shame on you. That's on you. Yeah. So that's what I would tell you. And the last thing is a quote from another expert on my channel that I think you should just internalize. It is always a great time to do a great deal. It's not about picking the bottom. It's not about picking the top. It's about doing the work, knowing what average is, because average will change. For example, when I started, average on my market was about 8% yield. Then it got down to, nothing, right? It was negative yield, which if you read my book, I sold, right? Negative yield, don't want them. Then the crash happens and suddenly I'm getting 15, 16, 17% average, which means I always want to do good or great. Today, the average is 6.5. You just got to go with it. It is always a great time to do a great deal, but you, Dane, need to do the work and be able to declare what average is. That's what most people get wrong. They spend 2 days on the internet, realtor.com, Zillow, Redfin, whatever it is. They look at 12 properties and they go, oh, that's a good one. I mean, how can you know what a good one is after 12 properties? Give me a break. I look every day. I've been doing it for 20 years and it's hard for me. Don't be lazy. Don't cut corners. Understand your job is to know average. And once you know average, the world is your oyster. But most people don't want to do the work.
Wow, that's great. That kind of comes back to, so I was like I said earlier, I was at this business meeting for like 2 days, this conference, just super smart guys all around me, guys and girls. And so one of my goals is just to learn as much as possible.
Right.
Talk to people, make relationships, because relationships are one of the most important things you can do.
No question.
And one of the guys said, it's only a mistake if you repeat it.
Exactly.
And don't take anything from it.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely right. And again, the beauty here is, Dane, you're going to make hundreds of, if not thousands of mistakes in your life. Just don't repeat them. Make them new, right? Enjoy the process of making a new mistake and then learn the lesson. And the beauty of this is don't grind on it. Too many people take a mistake. This is very much, are you Gen Z or millennial? Sorry, I don't know. Where's the cutoff?
I don't know either.
Okay, I'm going to call you millennial.
Maybe I'm millennial. I'm probably millennial.
Okay, yeah, whatever. Younger generation. How about that, right? I got 30 years on you. Today, the world seems to post the highlight reel. Social media, highlight reel. I actually think more people would do well if we posted our mistakes, because you don't learn from the highlight reel.
Yeah.
You learn from the mistakes. I've interviewed professional athletes, people worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and most of them only want to talk about their mistakes.
Wow.
Right? Think about that, because that's where they learn. That's where they go forward. That's where they pivot or whatever they do. Yeah, we would be better off as a society if we admitted our mistakes, like buying it or like creating an alligator in my book and going, I'm not doing that again. That hurt. That was really dumb. I hate writing, a $1,200 check when I'm collecting $1,000. How stupid am I? Right? So very
Really
cool.
well said. Yeah.
So your mom asked me a question, kind of advice that I would give to you. I guess there's a couple of things I would give to you or anybody else going off to college. Number one, the rat race is real. I did not know that when I was your age. By your age, I was already making 20 or 25 grand a year being a salesperson at Sears, which as an 18-year-old is awesome. And again, that's like 1990s money. So that's probably like 40 grand today, right? So I was already making really good money for an 18-year-old. But I didn't get it. I didn't realize that as my income grew and I let my life expand, it's a problem. What I would tell you today, Dane, is if you can live on $2 grand a month, you have and I say this knowing you and knowing your mom, you could graduate in 4 years and be financially free. But you need to be able to live on $2 grand a month or 2,500. If you allow your lifestyle and you start flexing with fancy cars and fancy meals and clothes and all that stuff, and you walk out of college needing 8 grand, you're going to be working. And being an entrepreneur, real estate person, it's just another job. But if you can earn financial freedom and then be playing, investing from the age of 22 on, you're going to have a life that all of us are envious of, myself included. So watch, the rat race is real. It's seductive. It sneaks up on you. It comes with daily decisions that people don't like to admit. Signing up for credit cards, buying that pizza on credit, taking that girl out this or there, flexing to get her attention. There's a lot of things you can do for free. Take her to the beach, whatever, just realize the rat race is real. And then the other one is, you're a high performer in a high performing family. Flat out. Often as the firstborn, which I am as well, comes a lot of extra pressure. I would tell you to let that go. You're going to be a freshman in college. And I have not met anybody who knew what they were going to be as a freshman. Go in, figure it out. I mean, I didn't actually have a major, but I by the time I left my freshman year of college, I had changed what I wanted to be when I grew up 4 times. Don't put that extra pressure on yourself. And I would tell you to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You should take that public speaking course as a freshman. The fact that you visibly retreated means you need to take it early. You need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if you are going to be the real estate guy that I think you're going to be, your ability to grab people's hearts and carry a conversation and tell stories, it's going to make you millions of dollars. So go learn that skill.
Wow. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel like I really needed that. As the oldest, I feel huge pressure on me.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Take you could have the pressure your junior year, but don't have it your freshman year.
And no, I definitely should take the speech class. I mean, I have to, but I should definitely take it early.
Just to
it's
get
one of my down suits, but something I need to grow and strengthen. So
yeah, I got to tell you, your generation, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it should be a high school mandate. Your generation is not going to be my generation of Excel spreadsheets and PowerPoints and Word documents. It's going to be communication. It's going to be video. It's going to be something social. So you have to be able to tell, and that's all the greats do, is they tell stories. They grab your heart first, your mind second. Most people do it ass backwards and fail. So that's what I would tell you.
Well, actually, now I think about it, one of my best classes, I guess, or the class I took the most out of in high school was probably my speech class. I'm still not nearly as good as I need to be, but I am far from what I was my junior year, I took a speech class and it really helped me.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah. Folks, again, if you're watching this, you have high school or college students. Frankly, I would pay them to take a speech class because most people don't want to do it, right? Most people rank death above, is the only thing scarier than public speaking. But it's going to be the wave of the future. So I think that's a lot of fun. Any closing thoughts? What would you tell other high school students? Would you tell them to buy this book and read it?
I would.
I think.
But I would say one of the number one things, well, two things.
Sure.
First, invest in learning.
Yes.
Invest in buying this book. Invest in buying other books.
Yes.
Go on podcasts, go on even YouTube, anything that you can learn. And the second best thing I would say is relationships.
Yes.
Because even now, even a young guy, I just turned 18 and I've met some fantastic people and I'm already growing relationships. And don't think that you're too young to start. You might have this fear, oh, these guys, they're way ahead of me, they're way older than me, but you'll be surprised when you ask someone a question, even one question, and they invite you over to their house.
Yeah.
Or they wanna pour into you just because of that one simple question. So don't ever think you're too young to even talk to someone.
Yeah. Well said. Well, do me a favor. Your mom has my email and my phone number. If you ever want to talk to someone that that's not in the family, hey, what's going on? I'm here for you. If I can help you in any way, you let me know.
Thank you so much.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Dane. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you for reading the book and thank you for your time.
Of course. Thank you.
Mhm.